Let me ask you a question. Yeah, if 21 days could change your habits, your health, your confidence, and your entire future, would you give yourself that chance? Because here's the truth. Your life does not change in a year, it changes in a moment. And a moment repeated with discipline for 21 straight days can transform your destiny. You see, 3 weeks is not a lifetime, but it's long enough to prove to yourself that you're stronger than excuses, tougher than setbacks, and built for victory. Today isn't just another day. It's day one of the rest of your life. Everything begins with a decision. Not someday, not next week, right now. The moment you decide, the fog lifts, the road appears, and your future begins to shift. Most people never make a real decision. They dabble, they try, they dip their toe in the water. But winners, they burn the boats, they commit, and they step forward with no plan B. For these first 3 days, I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to decide. Decide that you are worth it. Decide that excuses are no longer your boss. Decide that comfort will not chain you to the life you've outgrown. A decision creates direction. And direction, my friend, always beats drifting. Drifters go wherever the wind blows, but those who decide, they set the sail, they own the compass, and they move with power. Day 1 to day 3 is about drawing that line in the sand and saying, I will no longer settle. I will no longer wish. I will no longer wait. I have decided, and nothing, absolutely nothing will stop me from moving forward. Because when you decide, the world moves. The opportunities align, the doors open, but it all begins when you stand tall and say, today I choose my direction. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. It's the secret ingredient that turns dreams into reality, and without it, talent rusts, potential rots, and good intentions die in the graveyard of excuses. For these 3 days, your mission is simple. Train your discipline like a muscle. Because that's exactly what it is. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, the weaker you become. Winners don't rely on motivation. It's too fickle. Motivation comes and goes like the wind. Discipline is the engine that runs whether you feel like it or not. It's waking up when the bed whispers, just a little longer. It's saying no to the junk that steals your health and yes to the habits that build your future. It's doing what needs to be done, even when no one is watching. Here's the truth. Discipline is not punishment. It's the price tag of freedom. You can pay it daily in small doses or pay later in regret. And regret is always more expensive. Day 4 through day 6 is where you prove to yourself that you can follow through. Not once, not twice, but again and again until consistency becomes your character. Because when discipline becomes who you are, there is no finish line. You just keep climbing higher. Life doesn't respond to what you have. It responds to how you show up. And how you show up is your attitude. These 3 days are all about shaping the lens you see the world through, because that lens determines how far you'll rise. Attitude is the difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones. The same storm that sinks one ship carries another to shore. The difference? The captain's attitude. And friend, you are the captain of your own vessel. When you choose to see challenges as opportunities and work clothes, you unlock strength you didn't even know you had. When you decide that problems are not stop signs but signposts pointing to growth, suddenly the game changes. A sour attitude will chain you to the ground. A soaring attitude will lift you higher than talent, higher than education, higher than background. Because altitude is not about where you start. It's about how high you choose to climb. Day 7 through day 9 is your flight training. Every time you face resistance, you ask, am I looking at this through the eyes of fear or the eyes of faith? Through frustration or through fuel? The answer decides your altitude. So adjust your wings, lift your head, and set your heart toward the skies. Because with the right attitude, there's no mountain tall enough, no valley deep enough to keep you from reaching your destination. Your future is not written in the stars, it's written in your schedule. Show me your habits and I'll show you your destiny. Success is never owned, it's rented, and the rent is due every single day. For these 3 days, I want you to pay close attention to the little things you do without even thinking, because your habits are either building your future or breaking it. Every bite you take, every thought you repeat, every action you allow, it's all a deposit into the bank account of your destiny. The truth is, habits are stronger than goals. A goal sets the target, but habits pull the trigger. A goal says, I want to get fit, but the habit of lacing up your shoes every morning is what builds the body. A goal says, I want financial freedom, but the habit of saving and investing a little every day is what builds wealth. Day 10 through day 12 is where you become the architect of your routine. It's where you stop waiting for motivation and start creating systems that make success automatic, because what you do in private, when nobody's watching, will one day be shouted from the rooftops in the form of results. So build habits that serve you, not ones that enslave you. Plant seeds of discipline, water them daily, and watch as the harvest transforms your future. Remember this, first you make your habits, then your habits make you. When the battle gets fierce and the weight feels heavy, it isn't strength alone that carries you, it's faith. Strength pushes your body, but faith pulls your spirit forward when everything in you screams to quit. Faith is believing in the finish line when you can't see it yet. It's trusting the process when the progress looks slow. It's standing tall in the storm and saying, this storm will not last, but I will. For these 3 days, you're not just building muscles of discipline, you're building muscles of belief. Because the fight of life is never won on the outside first, it's won on the inside. The moment you believe it's possible, the moment you decide that the victory is yours, the game changes. Faith is fuel. Without it, you stall. With it, you fly. It keeps you showing up when logic says stop. It whispers, one more rep, one more step, one more day, and those one mores stack up into a breakthrough. Day 13 through day 15 is where you anchor your fight in faith. Not blind hope, but the unshakable confidence that what you started will not end in defeat. The world may doubt you, the scoreboard may delay you, but faith says the best is yet to come. And when faith fuels the fight, no mountain is too high, no valley too deep, and no obstacle strong enough to keep you from your destiny. Dreams without action are nothing more than daydreams. A plan without movement is just paper. You can pray, plan, and prepare, but until you take that first bold step, nothing changes. Action is the spark that ignites acceleration. For these 3 days, the challenge is simple. Move. Do something that pushes you forward. Big or small, take the step, because motion creates emotion, and the moment you move, energy floods in. Action has a strange power. It multiplies. One small step creates confidence, and confidence fuels another step. Before long, you're no longer crawling toward your goal. You're sprinting. Momentum is built by motion, and motion is born from action. Think about it. A rocket burns more fuel in the first few minutes of liftoff than it does for the rest of the journey. Why? Because breaking free from gravity takes everything. But once it's moving, momentum carries it into orbit. That's your life. Action breaks the pull of fear, doubt, and excuses. And once you're moving, acceleration takes over. Day 16 through day 18 is your liftoff. Don't wait for perfect timing. It doesn't exist. Don't wait to feel ready. You'll never feel 100% ready. Start where you are with what you have and take the next bold step, because when you act, life reacts. And once acceleration kicks in, nothing and no one can stop your forward march. By now, you've felt the pushback, the doubts, the delays, the distractions. Resistance always shows up when you start moving towards something great. But here's the truth. Resistance is proof you're on the right path. Most people quit when it gets hard. They let the mountain intimidate them, the critics discourage them, or the failures convince them it's not worth it. But champions lean into the fight. They don't stop at the wall. They climb it, break it, or outlast it. Persistence is the secret weapon. It doesn't care how many times you get knocked down, as long as you keep standing back up. 10 rejections, 20 setbacks, 50 failures. Persistence says, that was practice. The victory is still mine. Think of water hitting stone. One drop seems weak, but over time it carves a canyon. That's the power of persistence. It breaks resistance not with one blow, but with steady, relentless pressure. Day 19 and day 20 are where most people fade, but not you. You've come too far, pushed too hard, sacrificed too much to quit now. These 2 days are your test. They ask, do you really want it? Are you willing to keep pressing when the finish line is still out of sight? And when you say yes, when you show up one more time, fight one more round, hold on one more day, resistance breaks. The door cracks open. and you realize persistence doesn't just beat resistance, it defines you as unstoppable. Day 21 is not the end. It's the ignition switch for the rest of your life. For 3 weeks, you've sweated, fought, stumbled, and risen again, and now you stand at the breakthrough. But hear me, the real victory isn't just in finishing the challenge. It's in becoming someone who refuses to quit. A breakthrough is never one giant leap. It's the result of small steps, repeated with faith, discipline, and persistence. Every early morning, every tough decision, every time you chose growth over comfort, it all built up to this moment. And now, the walls that once held you back can no longer contain you. But day 21 is not a finish line. It's a launch pad, because the habits you built, the discipline you forged, the faith you fueled, and the persistence you proved, these are not temporary tools. They are permanent weapons. Weapons that will serve you in business, in health, in relationships, and in every battle you face from this day forward. Today, you don't just celebrate completion, you celebrate transformation. You've shown yourself that change is possible, momentum is real, and victory belongs to the one who refuses to surrender. So lift your head high, plant your feet firm, and declare, "This is my breakthrough." And this is just the beginning, because from this day on, you don't live like the old you. You live like the new you, and the new you is unstoppable.